That's Troy Kingi from his new album, Night Lords. It's the 9th installment in his 10-10-10 series. Now, this time around, Troy ropes in 14 of his favorite rappers to make a hip-hop album that blends beautifully with his own soulful songs. But first we talk about him opening for one of his heroes, Lenny Kravitz.
I feel rich in spirit, but I'm shackled to poverty. Gemini fleeing my knots in the red line there. Oh, red Honda Odyssey gets a rare Raiders one way you're hitting the lottery. Look at what they did the punts be. What did this promise land?
It was surreal. It was really cool. Also, just that age bracket of audience, I'm talking like 50s going into the 60s.
Yep.
Is the best audience because they always get there early. Same thing happened when I opened for Midnight Oil. You know, we had a packed room, and we were the opening act. You know, so yeah, we got a good response, and I got to shake the man's hand. And,
there you go.
He's still sexy as hell. He's 61 years old, and up close, his skin looks good. You know, he had passed for a 35-year-old.
Yeah, he was looking good, I gotta say. Jesus. Something to aspire to. He's a rock star. That's all there is to it.
Yeah.
Fantastic. All right. So we're up to number 9 here on these 10-10-10 things, the Night Lords. And so it's a kind of hip-hop rap thing you're doing on this. I'm wondering, in the grand scheme, out of the 9 that you've done already, including this, where does this rate as far as kind of difficulty of nailing it?
I don't know if I nailed it, but I'll leave that up to the audience.
Right, sure.
As far as difficulty, it was relatively straightforward, to be honest.
Right.
Probably the most difficult part was waiting for verses to roll in.
Right.
Other than that, the majority of it was done quite quickly. So I'd say it's at the easier end of the scale.
Good.
Yeah.
Because I read in, I think, some bio stuff or something that your kids listen to a lot of this stuff, and that probably had something to do with the way you approached it as well, I'm guessing.
Yeah, well, you know, before moving to the far north when I was 16, I was at a Māori boarding school, and we predominantly listened to hip hop, rap, and R&B. You know, so it's kind of deep in my DNA. So it wasn't too much of a stretch.
Right.
Where it was going to be a stretch was I knew I wanted to do a hip hop album, but you know, I couldn't go from a desert rock album into an album where I was just rapping. No one would take me seriously. They go, look at this guy. Who the hell does he think he is? But luckily for me, Al Michael's Affair brought an album out a couple of years ago with Black Thought from the Roots, and I was like, that's what I got to do. That's my into the genre. So produce the type of music I want to produce and get my favorite MCs to come and rap on it. And yeah, I'm really proud of it. I'm really happy with it.
So when you approached, because you got like, what, 13, 14 different artists that you're kind of collaborating with, what did you ask for them? What did you explain to them what you were doing or what you wanted from them?
I kind of done a chain email. Well, I sent an email. It was actually an Instagram message to each of them. I'd slightly change who I was sending it to and a couple and more of a personal note, but otherwise the message was pretty much a copy and paste, telling them I wanted to produce a record with them and me and my band. I sent them a playlist actually of the type of style and type of genre I was wanting to go into. I also had an overall theme, but by the end of it, we were just doing whatever the hell we wanted to. It was just the starting point really, and I didn't want to box them in. I wanted them to just feel the music and rap what was on their heart.
Right, you know? Right. So out of the tracks that I've listened to, which one is the first one that came about? Is there one that started things off?
First one we did was actually See the Sun with Mellow Downs.
Trying to hate on me when I'm reserved. Mine are on display for what it's worth. Sometimes you gotta reach within your purpose. Find the gold that's deep beyond the surface. I was told belief is what we search for. We just need to heal, no need to hurt more. Trying to stop my rain and throw a curveball. If I bring the smoke, then take it personal. Gotta take the lead, just call me Colonel. Vulnerability, shit out the journal. Bringing World War III shit out the terminal. Hard to see the sun when you're internal. Hard to see the sun when you're in so much.
Hard to see the sun when there's so much pain. Oh, it's hard to see the sunshine. Or close as an eclipse. Easier to drown in the pouring rain. No doubt they've forgotten love.
Only because I'd worked with Mello in the past, and
Right.
I thought it'd be good to start with someone familiar that I've worked with. And he actually come in with the flu, so
Great.
he had a really deep voice on the original recordings, and I loved it. Like, we got used to it, and he just couldn't listen to it because he knew that his voice wasn't up to his standard. But I loved it.
Yeah.
Anyway, he ended up scrapping his verses and redoing the whole thing to what is on the album now. But I don't know, maybe one day we bring out the other version at some point.
That'll be another series. The outtake.
Yeah.
And your band sounds great, but no matter, they seem to be able to rise to the occasion no matter what you throw at them. Tell me what that was like for them.
Well, it was a bit more different for them, I suppose, this time around, because we had a day per artist. So I got time in the Red Bull studio when I won the Tate Award, I don't know when, 5 or so years ago.
Right.
And then we went into COVID and Red Bull studio started closing all around the world. So I didn't want to bug the Red Bull studio in New Zealand with me asking them to use the studio time.
Right.
But then when this came around, I always wanted to work there. I know a lot of the hip hop artists had worked at that particular studio, and I don't even know if it's a studio per se, but Ben Lawson, who engineered the album, he still uses it. And I walked in and it was exactly the same as it was 5 or 6 years ago. Everything's still in place. So we'd get an artist per day. It was just managing everyone's timelines, because everyone is an artist in their own right and have their own lives. And would get in the studio and sit there and we'll just jam vibes, and they might say, can we do something a bit faster or slower? And they're like, that's the one. And then we'll work on that. And while me and the band were trying to lay the foundations of the track, they'd be in the booth just writing the lyrics, and I go, I think I can drop this one. And
right.
By the end of the day, we pretty much had the songs. And if you cut it down to how many songs we got, 12. Basically, the album was done in those first 12 days. Later, it was just embellishing stuff and redoing guitars and changing verses and whatnot. But yeah, it was done relatively fast, I'd say.
That's amazing. Well, you kind of have to work like that with all the things that you're working on, don't you? There's only so many days in a week.
That's true. And I think once you've got the right team around you and they know what's expected, it's not too stressful. Everyone, right. My band's, the last 3 albums, like we went to the States, I had no songs.
Right.
And I'm teaching them on the fly, and they love not knowing what they're going to play or what they're going to record on. And I think that's part of the magic as well.
Yeah.
Not knowing.
Now, you mentioned See the Sun. The track before it is Cold War with Tom Scott. It's a little bit political. It's also quite soulful and kind of an anti-war theme. So I don't know if you want to talk directly about that track or just in general. Were you concerned? Were you thinking about? Did you talk about what the messages were behind most of the things that everybody wanted to say?
Me and my pride stuck in a standoff. Dropped the text and then I ran off. Boom. Low as you thought, I wouldn't resort to. Cause I know you that well, it couldn't be more true. Nobody could hurt you like I make it hurt. Push that knife right in, knowing I make it worse. These words like some nukes. Feeling like Kim Jong when I shoot these texts. Fuck a true sweet. Came way too far now to withdraw the troops. The youth's catching strays, nobody's bulletproof. I lost my mind when I lost us. Look at what this war shit cost us.
Yeah, that one actually isn't about war.
Okay.
I think a lot of people know that he's recently gone through a breakup in the last couple of years. It was basically about that. And he did the first verse, and it was quite late in the piece, and he had to go pick up his boys from school.
Right. Yeah.
And he said, I'll do the second verse at home. 1 month goes past, there's no verse. 2 months, 3 months, and I'm hitting him up. I'm like, hey, I gotta wrap this album up. And I think his album was just about to drop as well, and it's all about getting past that phase in his life and just restarting and with an open heart. And he's like, I can't do the second verse because I can't get back to that place. And I'm like, oh, that's fair enough. But he gave me the guy on the second verse, Adam Tukiri.
Yeah.
He fully rated him. I'm like, let's chuck him on.
Oh,
I wasn't going to put someone on there that he didn't like. So
right, sure.
that he put his name forward.
Yeah, well, I thought, yeah, it's obviously very, it's affecting him because I went to his album release little party, and where he refused, and everybody's there to listen to the whole album. He only played one side of it because he couldn't kind of bring himself to hear the other side in front of everyone. So
he's a special artist, and he speaks from a real truthful place. So if he's not feeling it, he just can't do it.
Yep. Now, one thing that kind of permeates through a lot of it, and especially on a track "Much Too Late," is that it still feels like a soul album in some respects, as well as a hip hop record.
Last Saturday was the last time I wrote something from you. Have you given yourself to someone new? Deep down, I guess I already knew. Now we are through. There's nothing else that we can do.
I feel like that's my signature.
Yeah.
That's not me trying to be soul, not me trying to be anything. That's just my natural instincts as a songwriter. So yeah, you'll always get that old soul vibe and little bits of blues in there. But I suppose that's just the style that I like naturally.
Were you worried that your style would get kind of taken over or not come through with all the other stuff that's going on this record?
No, because I have I'm quite strong-minded when it comes to that side of things. But I think that's why everyone wanted to be on board, because they wanted to work on my palette of music, do something outside what they normally do. And I feel like the combination of artists that we put on the album really complement each other. Sometimes you can get a whole lot of people on the same record and it just sounds like a mishmash or doesn't sound that cohesive, but I feel like everyone really complements each other on this.
Yeah. So that's Charles Burrell who sings Much Too Late?
Yes, a big story on Charlie Be Real. He's me and Marika really loved this stuff a long time ago, and we're like, man, I wonder if he's going to put a record out. It was when we were getting really deep into our vinyl. Not as deep as you, obviously, but we were getting deep.
I was going to say, he sounds like the Stylistics.
Yeah, exactly. That's exact. And well, we got him to work on her album. Actually, I produced her album a couple of years ago that still hasn't come out.
Right.
And he signed with, I think, Big Crown Records, and all of their artists got amazing records. And we're like, we might get this record now finally. And then she's like, wouldn't it be amazing to get him on my record? So I just cheekily messaged him, and he said yes. And 6 months went by, nothing happened. And then we were going over to LA. This is when we went to LA, into the desert. And I messaged him to come and have dinner with us. We got on really well. And then we ended up having a few drinks and going to his studio in West Hollywood. And we recorded this demo for this song.
Right.
And at that time, I was really deep on the Stylistics, and he's like, "Well, me too." Listen to his new his new single that was coming out. Sounded exactly like Stylistics. So we didn't have to try too hard. That's kind of where our heads were at when we recorded this. His voice is very stylistic.
Yeah. And, what was the guy's name? Russell Tompkins Jr. Right? Is that the lead singer?
This for Stylistics.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was the guy with the afro and the kind of bigger dude, maybe. With a little mustache. But yeah, I love that tone. I don't know why more people don't follow down that path, because Stylistics definitely smash it.
They do it. They did indeed. And the track before that, River Don't Change the Flow, has some kind of psychedelic guitar going on at the end there. Who's playing that?
Well, that was the last song to be written actually for
Okay.
the album. I kind of had the album done, and I was on tour of Super Groove, and Ruby Doo was also on tour of Super Groove, listening to the album, and she's like, "Why don't you get me on the album?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's already done." And then we're down in Christchurch, and it was her birthday, and Jess B was down for her birthday, and we are all listening to it again. And Jess B's like, "Why don't you get me on your album? It'd be cool." Or maybe I asked her.
Right.
It would have been cool to get her, and she's like, "Oh, that would have been cool." And I was like, "Why don't I write a song for both of yous?" And that's where this come from. And then when we were wrapping it up, Ruby Doo's like, "I think you should do a lead break at the end there." And I was like, "Okay," but I think she was thinking more like a George Benson, not so riffy and distorted and grungy. But hey, I just come out of the Mojave Desert, man, so you got to let me put my signature on it.
I like it. Yeah, yeah. It doesn't sound like George Benson at all. No.
No.
That's fantastic. And what about the cover art? What's the story behind that? There's an old car, some headlights on, and an empty parking lot.
Um, well, the initial idea, so Night Lords is supposed to represent um, a lot of the artists on this album would be sending stuff quite late, or I know that they are night owls like me. Not so much these days. The older I get, I'm not much of a night owl, but we like to work in the night hours. And my original vision was to have like an empty studio at like 2 o'clock in the morning after everyone's left. There's a little bit of a mess, but you can tell something went on. Or like an empty basketball court that's at like indoor basketball court at a high school on a weekend when no one's there. That sort of vibe I was trying to capture. And Abe Mora, who took the photos for the album, he had that one in there, and he's like, what about something like this? Just it feels like, I don't know, something's happened or about to happen, and it's in a big empty car park, and just visually it just looks stunning. So
Yeah.
that was kind of the road I was going down, but it wasn't exactly where I wanted to end up. But I just loved the way it looked, really.
Yep, well, very cool. Well, what I love is the fact that here you are, 9 albums into this thing, and you sound so enthusiastic and thrilled about the whole thing. I would have thought you would have been dead on your feet at this point.
No, well, yeah, we only got this one and the last one, and yeah, we just got to keep the positive vibes flowing. Otherwise,
Yeah.
yeah, we'd be down in the dumps, really.
Can you give us any indication as to what the last one is going to be like?
Yeah, the last one is going to be big band.
Oh, cool.
More so as if they were actually, the concept is James Bond theme songs of James Bond movies we never watched, based in the early 70s, late 60s. I'm talking about the Nancy Sinatra, You Only Live Twice, or Shirley Bassey,
Right.
Goldfinger, that sort of era,
Man.
but as if they were sung by Al Green or Marvin Gaye or something like that. So that's where I was supposed to have had it finished by the end of this month, but I'm still at the early stages. I'm talking about I was supposed to have the album written.
Right.
I've got Victoria Kelly working on it with me, actually.
Well, she's the one. She'd be the one to soundtrack.
Oh, exactly. She's been waiting for nearly 2 months for me to send the first song, and I haven't sent her anything. So I think maybe this album's kind of been holding me up a little bit. It's hard to move on until you've got, the other one out of the system, then you can really fully move on.
And with so many coming one after another like this, is it frustrating? Would you like to spend more time like on this record before you're thinking about the next one? Go out and do some gigs and just let it kind of sink in?
Yeah, it's kind of, we just got to move straight on. I've been getting a lot of messages about summer touring and stuff, and I'm like, just think logistically, how hard do you think it is moving 14 MCs around the country and your band? And it's too much to think about around this time. And I'm not super rich right now, and I've got 5 kids. I'm thinking about Christmas. So we're looking at having a big show in March, but details should be up before the end of the year on that one.
All right. Well, you're to be commended for all that you're doing. It's inspiring to all of us to see somebody out there just cranking it out, and it's the quality. I mean, never fails in any of these. I'm
Appreciate that.
loving it,
Appreciate that.
loving it, and it's just. I mean, when I first heard about the whole concept, I was like, "There's no way. How is he going to do
Me,
this?"
oh, probably 5 years ago, I was probably thinking exactly the same thing. There's no way. But here we are. Here
Yeah.
we are.
All right. Well, very good. Congratulations. I'm loving it. I think everyone else will too. And we'll see what you do next. And do yourself a favor, take some time off.
Yeah, I'll take some time over summer, but I'll probably be writing when I do get some spare time, spare moments. Yeah.
If you enjoyed this episode of the 13th Floor's Music Talk series, please be sure to subscribe to the website or to the YouTube channel. Follow us on Facebook or Instagram and wherever you find your podcasts. There's a whole lot more to discover.